So I felt like with this week's episode, one of the major strong points that was driving it was using imagery to kind of signify what characters were meaning or what characters were about and what they were going through without them actually having to say it. For example, between Obito and Sasuke, while Sasuke had the picture of Kakashi, him, when they were younger, Naruto, Sakura, all of them inside the picture, Obito had his picture in his mind as well. And it's very interesting, while Obito is the main villain right now for the most part, aside, of course, from Nutjob Madara on the side, trying to get his rocks off to fighting and shit, but while he's the villain, while his picture is being ripped apart because of him losing his consciousness in this episode, he's trying to slowly put it back together. While with Sasuke's picture, he's trying to rip people out of it and cut people in it. So it kind of really just shows where the characters are at right now and kind of foreshadows things without actually having to say anything. And I think that speaks volumes when you can actually imply what characters are trying to do by just simply showing a picture. So with this week's episode, Obito emerges as the Juubi Jinchuuriki, and he is completely batshit crazy. He doesn't even know who the fuck he is. He's like, Obito, and rightfully so, because at the end of the day, I think anybody that takes in the entire force of the Ten Tails Juubi should ultimately lose it. They shouldn't be able to just immediately say, well, I'm going to have crumpets and tea right now. And definitely seeing him that way shows how strong the Ten Tails is and what a force it is. It makes you wonder, what if Madara was the one to take in the Ten Tails? Would he be able to control his sanity? And a very fast-paced episode as well with this week's episode, because if I'm correct, one whole chapter was from where it started to when he ripped the Kage in half, and that was only the 8-minute mark. So we covered an entire chapter with only 8 minutes. And with Obito versus the 4 Hokage, it's kind of funny how Hashirama's like, yeah, he's stronger than me, and then Tobirama's like, no shit, Sherlock. He's a fucking Ten Tails Juubi Jinchuuriki. Of course he's gonna be stronger than you. Hashirama showing that he has a little bit of cockiness inside of him. No, seriously, that's basically them just trying to show the viewers that, oh my gosh, he's stronger than even the first Hokage, the legendary Hashirama, the strongest ninja basically in existence. And if he's stronger than that, then, what type of fucking way are they gonna be able to defeat him? And going back to it, when Sasuke saved Naruto, it's kind of like at first Naruto's like, holy shit, he saved me, and I'd imagine it goes back to him thinking of when he first saved them against Haku and Zabuza. But the difference is, you can definitely see these are two different Sasuke, and I don't mean two different people, I mean, in a sense, he's changed and he's metamorphed into something completely different. He wasn't saving him on some bonds, on some, this is my teammate. You'll never really know truly who Sasuke was throughout the entire series, because he's always been going through one thing after another. He was definitely more pure when he saved Naruto from Haku in that fight back in the day, but right now, when he saves him, he basically immediately thinks and pretty much basically implies, no, you're not going to be the one to kill Naruto, I am, when we see the picture being cut by him. So in a sense, it's like, Sasuke right now is foreshadowing, in a way. This episode was foreshadowing who he really is. He isn't here to be the good guy. He isn't here to hold hands and, sing, yes, Naruto, you'll be Hokage and we'll save the world. And it leads you to wonder, just what is Sasuke up to? Is he really on some good shit? Or where is he going with it? I noticed that Sakura really didn't do shit this episode, just saying. And I think the strong point of the episode was when Obito was having his body and everything being ripped apart. And in a sense, again, it was metaphoric to speak of what he's going through right now and what the character's been going through, in a sense, pretty much personifying who he is as a person and how torn he is. And I like that it was using imagery to do that. It wasn't saying, basically him just, Rin and stuff like that. While it was showing some of his flashbacks and everything, it was mainly showing how much of a ripped up person he is on the inside, how much he's damaged, and his memories of his past is one of the strong things that is the foundation of who he is today. His past is what is keeping him going, in a sense, whether he's evil or good. His foundation is that. His foundation is who he used to be. And for the legendary 4 Hokage, they were getting their fucking asses kicked by Obito in this episode. He was really proving that even before he turned into the mock sage of Six Paths, when he was just like running rampant, going crazy, not knowing who he was absolutely obliterating them and Naruto and Sasuke. Nobody stood a chance, and I like that it was setting up, and it's good that it sets up that he is a true force to be reckoned with. Like, nobody can fuck with him right now. But again, with the metaphoric speaking, him turning into the mock sage of Six Paths was basically him taking control, and him once again showing that his foundation of who he used to be is ultimately the strongest thing about him, and that Obito is a strong person regardless of what he may be doing at the time. Ultimately, his past is what keeps him going. And overall, pretty kick-ass episode for the most part. A lot of action in this one, and again, a lot of personifying who people are based off imagery and whatnot. I will say the animation for this episode was kind of A lot of characters were kind of just looking like they were moving across the screen, kind of just like drifting away, but there was a scene that actually looked pretty good, and that was when Obito was being stretched apart. That was like the best looking scene. The art and animation looked really fluid, and just overall, again, was showing who he is. And again, no Sakura, damn. Although we did get some Hinata. And with all that being said, 8 out of 10, very good episode. I felt not only did it progress the plot, it was pretty fast paced. Also, we got to see some different things foreshadowing from Sasuke and foreshadowing from Obito, who he is deep down inside. In a sense, while Sasuke is fighting on the side of good, he has some dark thoughts within, while Obito, he's fighting on the side of evil, but he has some good things within him. Pretty interesting. But let me know what you guys thought of this episode. What do you think about Obito conquering the 10 Tails Juubi inside of him? Do you think that if Madara took that power within him, he would be able to immediately conquer it, or would he be lost as well? Also, what do you think about the Kages getting fucked up in this week's episode? It was like, goddamn, a massacre of the 4 legendary ninja that ruled over Konoha. But that's all I have for this review. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you liked anything I had to say or enjoyed the video, drop me a like. I'd greatly appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, if you could do so as well, that would be awesome. I'm ForneverWorld, and as always, people, have an awesome day.